Okay, here we are, another beautiful day. It's snowing just a little bit. I don't know if you can see. I finished mulching that little area, run out of mulch. I did that. Put down some cardboard first between the two nectarine trees, or nectarine and peach actually. Just keeping busy today. Today is December 5th, I believe. President Bush passed away a few days ago, and today we don't get mail because the federal agencies are closed. Let's see, we've got this vegetable raised bed here that I built for my wife. It did awesome. Next time I build one, it's not going to be nearly as tall. This is like 3 feet tall, 3.5 feet or so. But we built it, put in extra wood that was laying around for the bottom foot, 2 feet, and then we started adding just topsoil and then a bunch of mulch, wood mulch, and then some compost, leaf compost that we got from the county. So, and then today I filled in that area in between, took out as much grass as I could and added a layer of mulch. First we were going to keep the grass, but we decided that it's just too much work having to come in there with a spin trimmer or something else to keep the weeds and grass down. So hopefully this works out. See, right in here we have, I planted a bunch of like milkweed, asters, goldenrods. It's going to be a butterfly pollinator garden, this whole area. I hope so. We still need a lot of mulch and a lot more plants, of course, but it's going to be beautiful. Lots of flowers and great for pollinators, which will help the vegetable garden too. Let's see. I had my son help me out clearing these flower beds of all the leaves and stuff. See, we've got a big pile right here that we still need to clean out. There's just always so much to do. Don't even look at the lavender bed down here. It's a bunch of lavender. I haven't touched it in 2-3 years now. It's going to be a project next spring. We've got all these pallets to make the fence. I think we got about 100 pallets, and I've slowly been extending the fence further and further. I've got this pile of gravel for the permanent chicken coop. We've got this little short raised bed here on the other side of this fence. This area where we have the garden, it's usually wet, so for the asparagus and rhubarb, we knew we needed better drainage, and this worked out beautifully. I need to figure out what to do to winterize it. Like they say that when the asparagus turns brown, you just cut it out, but this is the first year. I don't know if I'm supposed to, and it's just not turning brown, like a little here and there, but not much. And then the rhubarb, I need to do something with it. But the other beds, I've got added a bunch of leaf and grass clippings from the last mowing of the season. Right here I planted some, they're mostly all dead. Planted a bunch of asparagus, not asparagus, radishes, white radishes. I wanted to plant a cover crop, but I think I planted it after the first frost in mid-October. It came sooner than expected. And I didn't have seeds. Like I wanted to plant like some winter rye or something, so I'll do that next year. Just plant winter rye in each of the beds. Except this one. We've got strawberries here. I don't know if you can tell, but the leaves are missing off the top. Yep, we've got a deer problem, and they just keep munching away, and I don't know what to do. I put up these fences temporarily. Plan is to build a permanent fence around the whole garden. Right there we'll have a the chicken coop, and then the chickens will go and basically weed our beds, get rid of the pests. We'll put what's called chunnels, just little tunnels for the chickens to go down. First just down the aisles, and then when we're not growing something, we'll have them clean out the row that had something. Oh, this is awesome. We've got berries on the asparagus. They're not edible. They're poisonous for humans, so don't eat them. But they did awesome this year. And as you know, do not take any clippings from asparagus the first year. Just a few the second year, a few more the third year, and then after that you can harvest as normal. But the nice thing about asparagus, they can last 20 plus years, so we really like asparagus. It'll be nice not to have to buy it from the store. I still need to clean up this bed over here. So, not quite done. We had cucumbers, and they did pretty good. Like, there was nothing, and then the next day there was tons of cucumber, and we pickled, I don't know, about 10 bottles with heat canning. Next time we'll just ferment them so they don't get all that heat and lose nutrients, and they stay crisper. So this is our garden. We'll have the chicken coop there. I'm going to plant more asparagus in this raised bed. I'm really looking for more and more perennials because this last summer I could not keep up with all the weeds. I need to do better at mulching, so I'm not spending time with the weeds. This bed will be all strawberries. I'm really excited. We only got a few strawberries this year, but after I kind of got the deer problem under control, they just grew everywhere. They're outside the bed. So lots of work. Oh, it's just so nice. I'm grateful for snow. It's so beautiful. But I'm even more grateful for a nice warm home. Someday I'll show off our little tiny trailer. It's on the other side of that gray shed. We have that pop-up trailer. Anybody wants to buy it, it's for sale. It sleeps at least 7. It's a big one. It even has an AC in it that runs on AC. Eventually this whole area is going to be garden. I learned, we had spaghetti squash. That did well until the squash bugs came. We had a bunch of tomatoes. Most of them were volunteer. We had onions. I planted them from onion sets. They didn't do so well. The ground was really hard. I didn't add enough compost before planting the onions. Let's see. Cucumber. We had... I just can't get zucchini down. The squash bugs just destroyed it after destroying all the spaghetti squash and the 1 or 2 pumpkin plants. So I planted some more zucchini over by the food forest that I'm building, by the pallet fence, and they did a lot better because the soil was better, but the spaghetti squash still kind of kept, and I don't think they got enough sun. I was trimming the extra fronds, making sure the blossoms got sunlight, but still didn't get very much zucchini. Zucchini is another thing we eat a lot of. Our oldest son, he's 11, is on a gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free diet, and so we use a lot of fresh vegetables, zucchini, zoodles. We like grilling zucchini and asparagus and putting it in burritos. Oh, it's so good with beans and whatnot. So yeah, next summer, got a lot to do. get up that fence, keep the deer out. You can see sometimes on some of these fence posts I've put plastic bags. That helps keep the deer out. It kind of frightens them when the wind rustles it, but it's not complete. The best way to keep deer out is an 8-foot fence. What we're going to do is probably finish with that chain link fence, put it all the way around, which will give us about 4 feet, and then above it we're going to put an electric fence, just a couple wires, and maybe even have a third wire down below to keep smaller critters out. We've seen raccoons, but they haven't really been in our garden. We also have a problem with marmosets, groundhogs, but I don't think they've really touched our garden. We have moles or voles, I'm not sure which one we have. Moles are good, voles are not. Voles are vermin, you want to get rid of them, but they look very similar. They have a lot of the same characteristics. There's also been rabbits in the area, but I haven't seen any on our property except up on the other side. They haven't been by the garden yet. I'm sure it'll happen soon. So yeah, you can see I've started digging for the chicken coop. Gonna have, I don't know, about 12 feet by 8 feet big. Half of it will be for their sleeping area. The other half will just be hardware cloth, but it'll still be protected so that before I can let them out in the morning, they'll still have a little area to roam around. Yeah, but we're really looking forward to that. I eat vegan mostly, but I see that having chickens will really help with bugs, and it'll be fun. We'll get to learn a lot. We eat lots of eggs. I don't, but my family does, so it'll be nice to have some layers. Compost piles. Not this summer, but the previous summer, I spent so much time turning the compost, and that's one of the reasons we're going to have the chickens. We're going to let the chickens turn our compost for us. This past summer, the most recent, I didn't turn it as much, and it still worked out pretty good. I've learned that just doing grass clippings, it needs more brown material, and inspired by the Zero Waste Home Book and other stuff, we've really cut back all of our extra waste, and now we recycle a lot, and we used to recycle a lot of paper and cardboard and stuff, and now it just goes into the compost pile. I'm gonna get a shredder, but for now I just hand tear it up and then add a layer of grass, and then sometimes I'll throw in food scraps from the kitchen and then cover it with grass. And so yeah, basic stuff up for the homestead. Keeps us busy. Just loving the snow. Across the street there's an empty house. The deer love to lay there. They hide in the trees and the deep grass, and our garden is right across the street. Perfect food source for them, right? For the chicken coop, I'm going all over the place. For the chicken coop, we're going to put a foundation of cinder blocks and then secure it with a little cement, and then just 2x4 framing for the rest of it with some plywood. And difficult part is going to be adding the automatic door. At first I'll just do pulleys and ropes, but eventually I want to have the door automatic, time to the sun coming up and going down, so that keeps them safe at night but also lets them out in the morning. Our property goes not quite to that gravel driveway, but keeps us busy. We've got about 3.5 acres. About half of it's wooded. See those trees? That's mostly our property. There's a barn. Small, we call it a barn. It's small. The leaning place set, the leaning tower of Heavan-n-Grace. Oh. Looks like I've got some vines I need to take care of in the trees. I hope it's not kudzu or... I took out a bunch of greenbrier. That stuff is nasty. Anyway, that's it for today. Get a bunch more, see more of the area. As you can see, we've got a lot of grass. I'm tired of mowing it, so hopefully the chickens and just converting it a lot to garden areas and food forest will really help cut back on the extra work. So, and there we go. See you later.